Welcome back from the break, bringing education and building opportunity for leadership and development. That's what we're all about. Now, if you've missed what has happened before the break, not to worry. Go on to our Facebook, our Instagram, our website, our Twitter, everywhere, and catch up on what you've missed so far.
And don't forget to join the movement. We've started a campaign. Hashtag Be Bold Here I Stand. As I was saying before we went on break, all you have to do is show us your journey, a before picture and an after picture of yourself, a success story of yourself, and join the movement.
Definitely. Now you can also do that again on our Twitter, on our Instagram, on our Facebook, and join the movement, like Crystal said.
Well, anyway, Sarah, let's move on to our next guest. Now, this person, amazing. A lot of you know he's a comedian, he's an actor, he's a director, he's so many things, but his story is what's so amazing. He's a typical Be Bold person who came down, first went out there with the mission of greener pastures and trying to make money like we all start, but then he decided one day to leave that all behind, move back to Ghana on like nothing, no money. And look at him today where he is. That's KSM for us, guys. Kwaku Sintim Misa. Let's take a look at his story.
Cake back to me. Cake back to me. Abansike, minya bia medio. Oh, cake back to me.
And then all of a sudden he hears this J Kufo. So he's confused, right? He was like, Kumi. So Kumi comes rushing. Masa. Kumi. Wana watu bonyo tawo biano.
Message. He tried to write nerve, boom, he became president. Now, you are Sassy. I swear to God, I can package you to be president of this country. I'm serious. I am serious.
And who was it? He maketh me lie down in the vandalism of the vestiges. He refurbished my inner being. Yea, though I perambulate in the iniquities of death, I shall not be perturbed. For thy rod and thy staff, they minimize my melancholy.
Hello, Be Bolders, another interesting person in studio with us today. In fact, someone who we can learn a lot from. That is Kwaku Sintim Misa, KSM. Most of you know him as a comedian, a TV host, an actor. He's done everything. He's made the whole country laugh at some point. Right? I'm sure you agree with me. Well, he's here with us today to tell us his story and how he's come to where he is today. Thank you, KSM, for joining us here today.
It's great to be on what? Be bold, huh?
Yes,
okay.
Be bold.
I'm going to try and be as bold as I can.
Yes, that's exactly what we want you to be. So let's start. First of all, you are a diaspora, being here, having lived in the States for almost 20 years, studied there. What is your story? How did you move from the States to come to Ghana?
Well, it's quite interesting because even when I was leaving for the States, I always knew I was going to come back. Actually, I thought I was going to be there for just 4 years. I thought I was going there for just 4 years, do my studies and come back home. And it ended up being not 4, but 17 years.
17
Yeah.
years. And what happened? Why did you end up staying for that long?
Well, first of all, I went to do my undergraduate and I said, I just don't want to go back to Ghana with an undergraduate degree. Let me top it up, so let me do my master's. I took a year off, did all sorts of jobs, Kentucky Fried Chicken, I do the best chicken, mopping the floor before newspaper sales, everything. 1 year break, then back to school, NYU, to do my master's in filmmaking.
Why didn't eventually you have that money that you wanted so much to move down to Ghana?
Well, I don't know whether I had that money that I wanted so much. I saw myself in a certain light. I wasn't doing the kind of job that I wanted to do. I was doing every job but what I really trained for. So honestly, I wasn't like earning a huge income and I've saved so much. Okay, now let me go back home with this tremendous amount of savings and my car and my fridge and my everything. People come and they just pack up and they come. They have their car, their washing machines, they have their fridge, they have everything. I had none. I didn't come with any such thing. Well, those stuff that I acquired, I left because I had family there when I was leaving. But in terms of physical cash, when I got to Ghana, when I stepped at Kotoka, I had 96. I left with $100 in my pocket. And I think I had to buy, I don't know, a belt or something. Whatever it was I got, I don't remember. But the physical cash for me when I came to Ghana was 96 cedis. Everything that I've earned or built or gained has been since I've been to Ghana.
So let's move on then to you getting there actually to Ghana. So then all of a sudden, you started preaching on Vibe FM. You did some more acting. Now you're doing comedy as well. TV host. Please tell me more about that. How did you end up doing all of those other professions?
Well, the Vibe FM experience was very exciting. That's the first job I got when I came to Ghana as a talk show host. And back in the day in '96, I could say without a doubt that the hottest and what they call the most controversial show was my show on radio then. And I'd always wanted to do a talk show on radio. So when I came to Ghana and radio was springing up, I was listening to the talk shows on Ghana radio and I said, I can do this. So I went to Vibe FM and I talked to the guy and he says, have you done radio before? And excuse me folks, I lied. I said, oh yeah. I was doing radio in New York. Oh really? What were you doing? I said, oh, I was with WLIB. I really lied. God forgive me. No, let me check. No references. So he says, okay, send me a proposal. And I wrote in the proposal, I said, there's nothing like a dull topic. There can only be dull presenters. And that caught his attention. He says, okay, I'm going to give you a chance just for that line, you know. So they put me on air and I was just so controversial that everybody knew about the show back in the day, you know. Tuesday 10 to 12, Accra was locked on Vibe FM, listening to what they called and some crazy man from New York.
Come
to Ghana. Yeah, tell us what to do. How dare. And it was fun, you know. I was actually playing a character on radio. I was rude, I was very arrogant, and I would cut people off.
Are you like that now?
No.
So it's all pretense to get.
Pretense. It was just to make radio very exciting and get attention, and it worked. You know, somebody can call and disagree with me. I said, oh, get off my air, and I'll just cut them off. Then the next person will call. What do you mean? Is the air for you? What are you talking about? Get off my air. But I was very rude, very arrogant, and it was just a posture that I put up, you know.
Yeah, and that must have come from your acting.
That was an acting job I was doing.
And it is, honestly, TV is about acting, showbiz. So no matter what role, I'm sure you just gave them exactly what was missing in Ghana. And a lot of things people say is that you attack Ghanaians a lot. What do you have to say to that?
Oh, I don't attack Ghanaians. I attack our psyche. You know, I think that there are certain things about our psyche that is working against us. And those things I'm proud to say I attack.
Do you think that you've changed a lot? Are you still like that? Or?
Very good question. You know, they say if you can't beat them, join them. I don't think I've ever joined them, but I think I've toned down. Okay, for example, we have a system where until the longest time, I think our generation is starting to change a bit. You know, the way my father brought me up is not the same way I'm bringing up my children. Certain things, yes, but it's starting to change a bit in terms of we're giving them greater freedom to explore their own thinking. So things are changing. We have to get them to open their minds up right from childhood so they can question and ask questions. In the past, when you ask a question, hey, shut up. You know. So you have your defined role as a child, and that the first thing was don't think. Don't ask questions. Do as you are told. Okay? And when you raise a child like that, it sticks with them. So they go to school and that's all they do. And then they end up after university, they don't have initiative, they don't have drive, they are always reactive, they are not proactive. It's a result of the upbringing and the educational system. There's a cliche that says knowledge is power. I said knowledge is not power. It is the application of knowledge that is power.
Now we know that you've done a lot of things. You've done acting, you've done comedy, hosting. Let's talk more about, a lot of people think that, you know, you don't really need to study anything to become a comedian or a host. What do you have to say to that?
Oh, that's a rather unfortunate thing for anybody to believe. You've got to study, man. You've got to study. People are asking me, but Case, I mean, we go to the comedy shows and, you know, the comedy acts. People come on 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, they leave. No one comes. You do it for 2 hours sometimes alone on stage. How do you do that? So I've studied it.
There's an art.
There's an art. There's a craft.
How to make people laugh.
Yes.
Give me some of it.
Well, you see, the thing is, there's a difference between telling jokes and there's a difference between doing comedy. Telling jokes is very easy. If I tell you a joke right now and you laugh, you can go and repeat the joke and people will laugh. Okay. But a comedian has a very sharp mind. A comedian
I don't know why you're laughing.
can look at any situation
The same thing.
and find the
I
humor
see
in
you
that situation.
in Christmas time.
So comedy is
Big
not
old
because you
adults
can
thinking
tell
about-
jokes at your friend's wedding that makes you a comedian, but the ability to perceive and see humor in situations that makes you a great comedian.
So, I mean, you with now doing comedy, I know you also do TV hosting. How did that then link to that? Because you've done acting, TV hosting. Is it that when you learn, let's say, comedy, can it just go cross-board then after that?
Yeah. There's something interesting about talent. Most of the time they say somebody is multi-talented. The fact of the matter is that if you're able to develop your talent, once you discover what your talent is, when you're able to hone in on that talent, certain things naturally come out of that talent and they're all related, you see. So you didn't set out to go and study radio presentation, but through acting, I was able to develop a character that I could put on radio to excite people. So that comes from the acting talent, not as a talent as a radio presenter. But once you develop a certain talent, there are certain things that naturally are offshoots of that talent. And so they normally say, oh, this guy is multi-talented, he can do this and that. Because I can act and I can get people's attention, and that is also part of acting, you know. How do you capture and sustain people's attention? It's very, very important in acting, you know. So I use that in my public speaking. I use that on TGIF. When I'm interviewing a guest on TGIF, I put myself in the shoes of the viewers out there, and sometimes I can tell, this guy is boring my viewers, man, because I'm bored, you know. So I could have to do something, and so it's all linked up.
Now, one of the things that has really struck me as interesting, or I really want to ask you, is I know from research that you also are sickle cell. Why haven't you used some of these skills to be an advocate, a very strong advocate for sickle cell?
That's something that I can just say my answer is guilty as charged. I haven't really used it, and especially because I've been approached by the Sickle Cell Foundation, you know, and I've offered to do as much as I can for sickle cell, you know. The thing is, I really want to be an advocate for sickle cell. I want people to understand that sickle cell, I am sickle cell. And technically I was supposed to be dead like by, you know, when they started that, they say, oh, sickle cell, don't live past 20, don't live past, you know. I just turned 56. And I'm looking for,
congratulations.
thank you. Well, not just, in December. I'm heading towards 57. I gym, I play tennis, I go for my walks, I'm very, very active. And so there's a case for what you're saying that I should be an advocate for it. I haven't done as much as I can.
Why?
Why? I guess being so consumed in so many things, it hasn't really come up, you know.
Is the topic one that you find is a problem in Ghana?
Yes, I do find that there's a problem in Ghana, especially because sickle cell is all about intermarrying, you know. If people understand how sickle cell is transmitted to the children. It's something that can be avoided, but it can be very difficult. You meet somebody, you love them so much, and you've been together for 3 years and lovey-dovey, and then you realize that he has sickle cell, and you also have a trait, and you know that your children can become sickle cell, so you advise not to marry and things. That can be very, disturbing, But that's the only way for people to understand that in order not to pass it on to children, watch who you're marrying. Check their what do they call it? Electrophoresis, something. Yeah, it's very, very important. But the question is, have I been an advocate for it? No, I haven't been so far. I haven't. But I will. I promise you.
Dad, are you hungry?
No.
But, well, there's something I want to talk to you about. So
Don't tell me it's about Derek.
it is.
I do not want to hear about Derek. I've told you, he's the wrong guy. He's not your type. He's just not your type.
You don't know
I know his father.
But that's not him. That's not him.
Ever heard about like father like son?
Yes.
That's what I'm worried about. I know the man and I don't trust him. That man cannot be trusted. I can't see his son doing any better. I don't want anything to do with that guy. He's not your type.
Dad, honestly, I'm tired of this. I'm tired. Why are you always trying to pick someone for me? I've decided
You are my daughter, and I know what is good for you.
Are you going to marry me? Do you want me to stay here with you forever?
Show some love, man. Show some love. That was brilliant.
Catch the full skit online. It's thebeboldshow.com.
I absolutely love that interview with him. Like, I was so inspired, and his story of his journey moving back to Ghana and being shut down so many times, being told he can't do his standalone comedy show. And now look, everyone was cracking up, and now all his stuff is sold out.
And he really looks like a funny guy, but like effortlessly funny.
But funny enough, he said it's not effortlessly. He actually has to plan for it. Like his first stand-up comedy, it was actually supposed to be a play, and then it just became funny. He can't tell a joke on the spot.
Really?
Yeah.
You
he
tried?
has to. Yeah, I did. It didn't work out.
And I think it's also very impressive that he can be so controversial. And I guess because he's putting humor into it, people can't really say anything. I mean, he stood in front of world leaders and had discussions about stuff that is very controversial.
And through that, he is being an advocate. But one of the things, discussions that I had with KSM was the fact that he wasn't a sickle cell advocate, being that he himself has sickle cell. So, we talked about it, and he's actually agreed that this is something that he is going to do eventually. He has to eventually. And I said, I have you on camera. So now this is a chance for you guys to find out what I'm holding. First of all, let me explain what I'm holding here that you can win and what you have to do to win it. I have a Double, which is a movie that he directed and wrote himself, called Double. I actually haven't seen it. Have you?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so that's something you can win. And then also on here, Unlocking the Job Market, which states at the bottom there, if you can help me with that.
It says EAL plus DCV plus SIS is a job offer. Do you know what that means?
Nope. And you can find out in this book.
And he actually signed it for the lucky winners.
Saying stay blessed KSM. Yes. Now, how can you win these 2 items? We have 2 of them. So 2 lucky winners stand a chance of winning these 2 books. And how can you do that? All you have to do is hashtag KSM Be Bold Advocate at Be Bold Show on Instagram or on Twitter, on Facebook. We just want to find out from you ideas of how KSM can use his talents, comedy, directing, acting, to really be an advocate for sickle cell. Share ideas with him, share ideas with us, and really let's give him that push that he needs so that he can be an advocate for sickle cell.
Well, it is time for a short break right now, but when we come back, Efra Rita is standing by to give us a day in the life of a bouncer.
That's right, a day in the life of a bouncer and biz tips after the break.